Court will come to order. It is Tuesday, December the 27th, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the Kirk County Commissioners Court is now in session. If you would, rise for the pledge and the prayer. Please pray with me. As we gather as a county and as a community for the last meeting of Commissioners Court of 2022, and we reflect on our accomplishments and failures this past year, for those needs who we served and those who remain to be served, for our good deeds and not so good deeds that were either unintentional or even intentional. We pray for guidance and forgiveness, but most of all we pray for wisdom to discern your will for the common good of all, and for the courage to seek it, no matter the cost. Use our shortcomings and shame to cleanse our souls and renew our hearts to more faithfully serve you. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. First of all, I want to remind everybody to turn your phones to silence or off so you don't interrupt the proceedings. The first part of our agenda is always the public input. We have one person that wants to address the court, and that is Blanca Garcia. We ask that you keep your remarks to 3 minutes. Identify yourself from the podium. Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay. Hi, all. Good morning. I'm Blanca Garcia. For those that don't know me, I am an account manager for LCRA. So, first of all, I hope y'all had a good Christmas and a happy holiday. I have 4 quick items to go over, just overall things that LCRA is working on in the 2023 calendar year, and things that different agencies in y'all's county can benefit from, such as grants and free money. So I thought that would be important for y'all to know, especially the free money part. That's always, everybody likes free money. So first off, we are currently working with AT&T to bring additional cellular capacity to Kerrville. So that's something really big, considering that the eclipse is coming up pretty soon. A lot of people are going to be here. Y'all are going to need a lot more cellular capacity. So that's one of the things we're hoping that is going to benefit Kirk County in 2023. The second thing is that we're also scoping out to bring additional middle mile broadband services to y'all's county. So our engineering teams are scoping how to best bring 100 gigabit per second pipes into the region. We hope that we can keep these conversations going to make sure that everybody has what they need in the 2023 calendar year. So if y'all have any question on those two, please let me know. I'm not the expert on those two, but I can get you experts to talk about it, because that's a whole other language to me. But the third thing, which is the free money part, so LCRA does community grants at the beginning of the year. So they open up on January 1st and they close on January 31st. Y'all have applied for these in the past, and a lot of your BFDs have received these grants in the past. So we just really encourage y'all to reapply. It's really open to any agency in Kirk County, as long as there's a special project. It's really easy to apply. It's like 1 page of like 10 questions, and y'all have gotten it in the past, so I'm sure you could get more money from it this year. It opens up again January 1st, closes January 31st. There's a second round of it in the summer, and fall, which y'all are more than welcome to apply for, and I really encourage y'all to apply. It's free money, so I hope y'all will do it. Last but not least, Kerrville. Since Kerrville is in Kirk County, Kerrville joined the LCRA system starting on November 30th. They actually went live. We've been testing their coverage, and they had pretty good coverage so far, out until they're getting coverage in Hunt up to Mountain Home at some points. We strongly encourage that your SOs, your BFDs, they try to test out what they have currently before making any decisions, and see if what we have to offer y'all is worth y'all pursuing currently, and that is joining the LCRA system. So we are looking into adding another site in Hunt, in 2023, like November 2023, which y'all can
Finish up.
jump on. So that's pretty much it. I hope y'all have a great new year, and if y'all need anything from me, please feel free to let me know.
Okay.
I'm here all the time. I'm practically living in Kerrville now, so it's a great place.
Thank you.
And would like to initiate a conversation, but we can't do so at this time because this is for input from the public only.
Yes.
So, thank you. Any other public input? With that, we'll move on to commissioners' comments. Let's move to Precinct 2. Your last report on it.
Nothing to report, thank you.
3.
Nothing, just a nice, relaxing, cold weekend.
Good. 4.
Not a whole lot. Just hope everybody got through the holidays safely and have a great New Year coming up.
Well, I try not to report, but since my jurisdiction is countywide, I got a surprise this morning. And for those of you at the county, you know I don't like surprises. I want to hear about it first. I don't care how bad it is. And I was getting out of the shower, and my wife asked me what I knew about the boil water notices in Kerr County. Yeah. Nobody knows about them either, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to dry off and say, what are you talking about? Well, there are 3. There was a report on KSAT. She got it off their website. It's on Facebook. I see some people are not, and you've seen it. Since I don't do Facebook and I don't do internet well, I didn't realize that we had issues in Kerr County. But we had 3 subdivisions, which included Verde Park Estates, Westwood Oak, and Oak Ridge Estates, all of which are in Kerr County, who had TCEQ issued boil water notices. And as the state is wont to do, did not notify Kerr County. I've talked with our emergency manager, Dub, and he didn't know about it. Our engineer didn't know about it. The commissioners didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I'm not happy when I don't know about problems. And so we'll take that up with TCEQ, and I'm not going to throw a screaming Mimi fit, but I am going to put my foot down firmly that if we have a problem in Kerr County, the county is to be notified. So that's just for the record. Okay, moving on. We'll go to the consideration agenda. The first item is item 1.1, another surprise issue. We'll talk about that. But it is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve documents related to the Kerr County 457 plan to change the third-party administrator on the account. Guy over me. And before he gets up there, this is all solved. This is a thumbs up.
Yeah. Judge Kelly and Commissioners, again, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas, and again, we also want to hope that you have a great 2023 year. Again, my name is Guy Overby. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. I am here today regarding the Kerr County 457 plan. That the plan sponsor is with John Hancock. The plan has been in effect with Kerr County since 2016. And then the third-party administrator is, of course, at the time when we started the plans, was a company by the name of Scholes and Friends. Scholes and Friends, again, they serve as the TPA, which basically oversights the plan to make sure it's underneath the government regulations and it's following all those procedures that it needs to do as a third-party administrator. If you recall, I was here a month ago. I wish we could have taken care of all of it at one time. That would have made the most sense. But if you recall, in November, we came back and we had some provisions as regard to the COVID regulations and the issues that came with that. We did a presentation to the county commissioners on that for TRA, which is the current third-party administrator right now, not Scholes and Friends. TRA has acquired Scholes and Friends, so there's a new TPA that's on the plan. So when we came in November, we were actually getting the amendments approved at that time to the plan for TRA. We completed that. Commissioners Court approved that amendment to the plan that was submitted back in. As Judge Kelly just mentioned ago, he had a surprise came to him last week on the 22nd. I received the same surprise as he did at the same time in the email. I don't, in those situations, but basically TRA had requested at the same time, since we completed the amendment update, that they also requested that all of the record agreement of the 457 plan be updated as well, showing TRA as the third-party administrator. So that email was sent to Judge Kelly. Again, I know that was kind of caught him offhand. It caught me offhand. I did have a conversation with TRA about a little bit more appropriate communication would be appropriate for all players involved here on this. Basically, there's nothing changing in the plan. It is just strictly an update. Judge Kelly serves as, of course, as the trustee of the plan for a Kerr County judge, and his signatures are required on that. But again, those adoptions are laid out in the agreement, and there will be just the update of the record agreement for the 457 plan. So my request today is to ask for Judge Kelly and the Commissioners Courts to approve Judge Kelly of signing those documents to update the TPA agreement with the Retirement Advantage, which is a third-party agreement.
I'm looking at Jody. I think I went ahead and signed it, didn't I?
No.
Okay. I mean, once you told us what it was, and thank you for offering to come down and explain it to us. But and for those of you that think that these things come across my desk and I don't read them, believe it or not, I really do.
Yes, sir.
And when I would see somebody put my full given name, I know they don't know me, and that's what triggered it.
Yes, sir.
But thanks for everything. So we just need to take a vote to go ahead and,
Yes,
and
sir.
approve TRA to be the third-party administrator.
That's correct, sir.
And the amendments that they proposed.
Yes, sir.
I move for approval. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guy.
Yes,
And for those that don't know, he used to sit in this chair right here. 1.2, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to approve the contract with Motorola for communication system and to authorize the county judge to sign same. Sheriff Lathrop.
Yeah, Court, I'm looking for y'all's approval for the judge to be able to sign the Motorola communication system contract. I just want to say, Judge, as you know, and Heather, we've worked tirelessly, a lot of hours on this. I really have to thank you, Heather. I worked up to the holidays with Motorola to come to a final agreement on this contract. Court, I do have Motorola here if you have any questions, but basically that's what I'm looking for today, is for the judge to be able to sign the contract.
Now, is this the topic you wanted to talk on, Blanca?
I can.
I mean, you didn't identify which agenda items, so that's,
No.
it was just input.
It was just
Okay.
my input, but
Okay.
I mean, I can say more.
No, that's all good. And to be clear, Chef, I've got two contracts here.
Yes, sir.
One is a Kerr County P25 radio communication services, supplies, installation, and/or equipment contract.
Yes, sir.
And then I have a communication system and services agreement.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The communication and services agreement is Exhibit J of the
contract.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just for the record, I've already mentioned this to the Motorola representatives, and I've mentioned it to the county attorney. I did read the contracts, believe it or not. And the only question I had is in the dispute resolution part. As you probably know, I've practiced law for 48 years. And a lot of that time is, I know. A lot of that time is a mediator and arbitrator. And we have those provisions in the contract, the dispute resolution provisions. But it also provides that lawsuits can be filed by a party in a court of competent jurisdiction. And the only thing I mentioned to both Ben and to Heather is that if they would get back and let the attorneys talk about whether or not we can put in provision that those suits would be brought in Kerr County, or if it's a federal court, the federal court that covers Kerr County. So that was my only comment on the whole thing.
I'll get with their attorney right after court this morning. She's very responsive, and we can get that worked out before you sign the document. If the court approves it today.
I have two questions, because I have not seen the contract.
Okay.
So I have no idea
Well-
what the final one is, and I've had two questions all along. One, what is the remedy if the coverage is not as it was purported to be during all the discussions we've had, which was 100% or 99.9% coverage of the county?
Let's Motorola respond. Yes, sir. The current
If you would,
requirement-
Ben, please identify yourself so
Yes,
the public
Ben
knows.
Zatika, Area Sales Manager with Motorola Solutions.
Good.
The coverage is 95% reliability. Based off of the existing sites as they are, we will test the coverage in those areas as we committed to in the contract, and any areas that we show that are not covered, Motorola will fix those issues in that area. A lot of times, if it's something small, which usually the case would be, it has to do with an antenna, it has to do with the down tilt of the antenna, the way the antenna is put in place, we will address that at that site.
And that's in the contract, clearly.
And we have to accept the work that's done by Motorola before the final payment, and so we have an opportunity to make sure that it's
Correct.
accomplished.
There is a percentage of the contract that the county does not have to pay until system acceptance, meaning the county is happy with everything that we've done, and they're signing on the line saying that we're good with everything.
But what if it, this is 3 years from now, all of a sudden coverage drops? That's what I'm concerned about. I mean, is there any provision that you all are obligated to,
Well, we maintain and support that. Part of this agreement will be the maintenance and support of the system, right? So if there's something that fails as part of our work, okay, then it would be covered in the maintenance and the service agreement. Okay, but if it's like, if it's a force majeure act of nature or something like that, then we've got to figure out what caused it and how to address it.
But we're buying a system, and they're going to maintain it, and if there's problems with it, they're going to fix it.
Correct.
I just want to make sure that coverage, because coverage has been is a problem in my area and Don's area, and always has been, and primarily our two areas. I mean,
Sure.
And we need to make, that's
Understood.
the most important point to me, and the reason we went with Motorola, in my opinion.
Correct.
The other question is, can someone explain why there's a rush to get this done before the end of the year?
So we deal with our subcontractors and our suppliers, and we face, just like we're all facing, the financial burdens of price increases of everything, right? Every year on January 1, all of our vendors send us new pricing. And all that new pricing, guaranteed this time, will definitely have price increases in it. Okay, so we do our pricing based off of, we know that long-term, some of the stuff that we're gonna be purchasing for this project and other projects that we're doing have 6-month, 8-month, 9-month lead time. Because of the supply chain and the financial issues that have been going on, we're seeing our vendors increase prices, 3 months, 6 months into it. So we kind of have to hedge our bets when we start putting pricing together, knowing some of the stuff we're not going to be buying for 6 months or 9 months from now. When we place the order.
In my conversations with the sheriff, there's a significant economic incentive for us to be able to enter this contract for a year and to lock in
correct.
these prices.
Absolutely, yes.
And avoid the inflationary increase.
That is correct, yes. We built in a price incentive to have.
It's like what,
it for
$500
the-
million or something? It's a bunch of money.
$614,000.
$614,000.
Correct,
Well, that's the savings I want to get.
yes, correct.
So,
Thank you. I wanted that on the record. Why we're doing it is a rush.
I move for approval.
second. Okay. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? I think we've cussed and discussed this one enough.
About a year.
About a year. Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
I
Thank
want
you,
to
sir.
thank the court, thank you.
And what I'm going to do, just so that everybody knows, I'm going to have Jody, our court coordinator, make copies of the contract and give them to the commissioners to have y'all review them. I have represented Ben. We're going to try to have these signed. I'm going to try to sign this by close of business today. So we'll get you copies. So do your diligence.
Just so that there will be a change in 11.2 for the Kerr County or the appropriate federal court.
Okay. Okay, item 1.3, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to obligate a portion of the American Rescue Plan Act funds designated for the Veterans Pathway to acquire engineering services for the project design when issuing the request for qualifications. Ms. Putnam.
Good morning. I'm here for the next two agenda items regarding the Veterans Pathway Project. And we met the team met on December 20th, and We are now ready to move forth to get a scope of work and engineering services and to figure out each portion of the proposed plan for this Veteran Pathway project. And it is necessary to go ahead and get the engineer involved, go out for RFQ, get an engineer involved to give us the scope of work, because there are numerous entities that are all going to be working together to accomplish this pathway project. And so what I am here today to ask is for us to designate a portion of the earmarked ARPA funding for this project just to go out for the engineering services, for the request for qualifications for engineering services. At this time, we're not asking to designate the full amount for the whole scope of the project, just to go out for the engineering services.
Let me make sure that I understand it. We budgeted $250,000 and
Correct.
obligated those funds.
We have not obligated those funds.
Well, in the budget.
Yes, in the budget, yes.
In the budget. And then when we met last time, we talked about we need to spend money to get the engineers to write a RFQ to be able to start getting these plans and specs put together.
Yes,
And that's going to cost $30,000, $40,000 or something like that.
correct.
Is that right? And if I recall correctly, the motion that I think it was Commissioner Ballou made, that we approved, was to obligate up to, not to exceed $100,000 as kind of seed money to get this project going. Isn't that what we did? And you're asking us to obligate those funds out of the 100 that we said we're not going to exceed.
I guess that would be what it is. My understanding was we hadn't obligated really any of it, but this is to make sure that we can go ahead and get go out for a request for qualifications from an engineer and pay the engineer in order to bring this forth to the other entities to have the full scope of work. So yes, if we could obligate a portion of those ARPA funding specifically for this.
I think Jody can add.
See, my recollection is on our last meeting, we had an item on there to obligate up, or the $250,000. But I believe Commissioner Letts brought up, we don't know what the project's going to be. I think Commissioner Blue agreed. So they don't want to obligate $250,000, not knowing anything. So now we're asking to obligate a portion for the RFQ, because according to GrantWorks, we can't spend any of that ARPA money until that is obligated.
Okay.
So we're, instead of the $250,000, we're asking for whatever, up to $40,000 just to do the RFQ. Even though $250,000 is earmarked in the budget, it has not been obligated. Those are the words, we have to obligate those funds.
Okay. Now, the public couldn't hear that explanation.
Sorry.
Well, and let me just kind of summarize it. Everybody's concerned about the strings that the federal government attaches to ARPA. Everybody, okay? And so what we're trying to do is use belts and suspenders to keep our britches up here. We put it in the budget. That should have been enough. We came here a couple of weeks ago and we said not to exceed $100,000. That should be enough. And what you're here today is say, well, we're probably only going to spend 40. Make sure that that's what we're obligating to do. And so we now have the suspenders and the belt.
Yes, I guess that would do it all, a full meal deal. I wasn't really understanding the $100,000 that had been obligated. I didn't.
Well, it wasn't clear. And so what we're doing is we're clearly obligating this 40 to make sure we can pay the professional fees to get the plans to be able to see what it's going to cost.
Yes, I request a court order to please do so.
Okay.
In your packet, on items 1.3 and 1.4, we had a very good meeting, and preliminary projections are that everything will fall within budget, but to get it any kind of precision, we've got to have an engineer to get us tighter.
Right.
And that's what we need.
And that's what we talked about 2 weeks
That's
ago.
right. That's
Now we're talking
correct.
about obligating the funds to pay for it.
Do it
And
properly.
then in the future, I'll be coming forth once we get a little bit further along for the remainder of the amount, once we have
Right.
the reports from the engineers and have, the next agenda item is to actually go out for the RFQs. So once we finish doing all of that, then we will slowly go through the next phases.
And I appreciate that to the public, some of this seems a little confusing. But I think the extra caution that our grant administrator's taking and our supervisor are appreciated. Keep us coloring between the lines. That's where we want to be. So, do I have a motion to obligate the funds for the engineering RFQ?
I so move.
In a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
How much are we obligating? Is it 50?
I don't know, actually, or,
It's for the actual engineering fees, which we anticipate to be less than $40,000. That's what we're obligated.
I don't need to put in amount. is what I'm-
It's for engineering services for the project design and issuing the RFQ.
Okay.
That's what it's for. And it'd be their actual expenses. Okay.
No, I don't think we need to say the actual amount, because we
In
won't
fact,
know.
we were-
That's the catch-22.
we were
won't-
cautioned by the engineer not to do that.
We
So we're not
we
doing
don't
actual
know how
amount?
much it would actually be,
Correct.
but
So we're doing it up to 40?
Well, we're not doing it now. Leave it the way it is.
Yes.
No number.
No number.
No number.
Okay.
Well, let me read it again to make sure we get this. This is from the county clerk to get in the order. This is a motion to obligate a portion of the American Rescue Plan Act funds designated for the Veterans Pathway to acquire engineering services for the project design when issuing the RFQ. That's how we'll word it.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the motion and the second. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? None. Thank you. You want to move on to 1.4, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the court to authorize issuing a request for qualifications for the engineering services for the design of the Veterans Pathway sidewalk. Ms. Putnam, we talked about it?
yes, this is just permission to actually start advertising and go out and request the qualifications to go out for bid for the
engineers.
engineer.
I move for approval of item 1.4.
Second with a question. Is there a time limit? It was like, how long do we have usually we put a deadline when we're gonna have the request back due to the court?
Well, what we need to do first is go ahead and write the request
RFP.
for qualifications. So GrantWorks is assisting with that in order to write down the scope of work of what we're going to put out, and then we will advertise it in the newspaper and go through the proper protocols, the federal guidelines for advertising for the RFQ. That would take a minimum of like 2 weeks to accomplish. So there's not really a deadline for responses. That would be up to the team as to choose how long they want to give the engineers time to submit their proposals. It will be a sealed bid.
But we usually do that.
But I mean, we need to
Right.
have,
30 days or something.
when it's issued,
Yes.
we need to have a deadline to give it back to us. That's what I'm saying. And it can come back to us before it's issued. Once it's written, it can come back to us, and then we can figure out. We get probably input from Charlie, how long it would take, but we need to
I mean,
have
we
it.
usually see 30, 60, or 90 days. It just depends on the scope of the project.
We can bring it back to the court once the RFP's.
I'm
Which
fine,
is-
I'm,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm fine with taking this baby steps.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing,
Right.
but we're getting all the details nailed down.
So let's,
well, now that we do have the funding obligated, and we can get permission to go out for RFQ. If you want to wait until they've had a chance to write it, I can bring this back on the
bring it back.
agenda.
I'm fine with it. Just bring it back.
Once the RFP is written, then it can come back and we can set the time period.
That sounds good.
Very good.
So you want
Thank
to just
you.
pass on that one for now?
No?
No.
We're gonna pass it, I think. Any other discussion?
It's just to authorize the preparing of the RFQ. is what we're
Yes.
Okay, then those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. And again, you got one more, don't you?
Yes.
1.5, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the OOG grant number 4595801, the FY23 Bullet Resistant Shield Grant Program.
This is just to accept the funding for from the Office of the Governor for the Bullet Resistant Shield Grant Program that Scott Gage has requested from the Office of the Governor. It has been awarded, and we need permission for the judge to sign, to authorize and certify the funding, which is, if you're interested, not to exceed $157,784.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve accepting the bullet-resistant shield grant from the governor's office. Any other discussion? And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Unanimous. Ms. Budden, thank you for your thoroughness. Even if we have to take a few extra steps to get this right, it's worth it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 1.6, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to award the 2023 annual materials bid for Road and Bridge Department. And this is the one that we didn't get to at the last Commissioners Court meeting that you had a chance to
Correct.
review and make your recommendations now.
Yes.
Okay.
And you should have in your packet, your backup of what the final bids were. We can just kind of start at the very beginning. You know, we don't get the trap rock anymore just because of the increased cost. We put it on there if we've got a situation where we've just got a small section of road and the whole road is that black trap rock, but you can see the expense in that trap rock. So Wheatcraft on the crushed paving rock is the one who won the bid. It kind of depends what size truck they're going to use and for how far. You see that delivery underneath, so it varies depending on that. We also can go and pick up the rock ourselves if we're close by. So that one was Wheatcraft on the winner on that one. If you go to the next page, you've got our emulsions. The two emulsions that we use the most on is the CRS2P. It was, last year was $2.65 a gallon. It went up to $2.72 a gallon from Wright Asphalt Products. The CSS 1H is what we use for doing edge patching and potholes to get a binder for the material to stick. It was $2.23 is the current price, and the price went up to $2.48. And Wright Asphalt also won the bid on that. Those are the two that we use. The CRS2, we bid it, but we've had problems with that emulsion. We don't use the MS2. AEP we used to use, and we substituted the CSS 1H because it's a little bit cheaper. So Wright Asphalt won the bid on that. Go to the next page, third page. This is the one that kind of baffled me. This is for culvert pipes and bands, coupling bands. We used to do the install of driveways, but we've cut that out to put more of the cost towards the seal coat program. But I found it really interesting. It was between 10 and 11% cheaper than the current bid on pipes.
On every item?
Yeah, it was real consistent. So I found that to be interesting. I'm not really sure what all that means. One of the guys this morning in our Monday morning meeting said that some of those costs are coming down on the metals and stuff. I wish all the other bids were like that. This is the one we probably use the least amount, now that we don't do the driveway installs anymore. But we do bid it just in case there is a project that we need to buy pipe and buy quite a bit of it. So that page was very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go to the next page. This is your base material that's up underneath the sealed surface. You look at Wheatcraft and Yenski. You've got to add in their delivery costs. We use both of those. They're local. Some of the other ones that you see are not local. The Brontex is out of New Braunfels. The other one is out of San Antonio. We'll use both of these. We do have a little note at the very top. It kind of depends where the project is. So if we're on one end of the county that's closer to the wheat craft pit, we may get the material for the base there, just because those tend to be multiple loads.
Kelly, I noticed that one company that bids usually did not bid was Ray Quarry. And their prices are lower than Yenskes and Wheatcraft.
Which one are you talking about?
It's not on the chart, I just know Ray Quarry, the only reason I know that I happened to buy a whole
Yeah.
bunch of that bait recently. And they're $6.95 for me to buy, which is not a big quantity. Are we precluded? I mean, we bid them, but we can still go to
Yes.
a lower supplier.
You can. You want to keep it under, you want to be careful, because that $50,000 is the mark. You don't want to go exceed that,
Right.
because then you come into, if you're in violation
Right.
of the material. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
And we send out, we give people who call and want to get on our bidders list. I'm not sure on Ray if they have asked us to no longer send them a bid packet, but we send out, and some people don't bid on it.
Yeah. I was just curious because they're very competitive usually,
Yes.
and usually they do bid.
And we had a couple people that the date to get your bid packet in, we
Yeah.
missed it,
Right.
so.
Okay.
On your next page, we've got, let's see. The very last page is your hot mix cold lay material. This is what we use to patch the edges. This is what we use to patch potholes. It is the most expensive material that we use. If you look at, the far left and the current prices up until this upcoming January 1, you look at these materials and they just keep creeping up and creeping up. So on the type AA, and this is all different rock size, Brontex is the one who got the bid on that. Then we've got, their delivery is $25 a ton. So from New Braunfels, that adds quite a bit onto that. But they were the lowest on that. This Texas Material Group over the far right, they bid on the type D, and they're $73 a ton. Their delivery is $20.80. They're in Cedar Park. Malbec Material, they're up in Johnson City. We've bought their material from them. We also have bought their rock for paving. This year on the paving, they dropped the ball. They forgot when the cutoff date was, so they didn't get on in the paving rock. But they won the type CC and the CC Plus. They're $78 a ton for both CC and CC Plus. And then their delivery charge is $19 a ton. So that one had some pretty good increases. You've got to make sure that you put the delivery in on that. So anyways, the highlighted ones that you have on your list are the ones that won the bid. And so at this time, I ask the Commissioners Court to accept the bid tally, and these will go into effect on January 1, and then they end on December 31st of next year.
I move to accept the annual material bid for Road and Bridge Department.
As presented.
As presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the annual bid, material bids for the Road and Bridge Department as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Item 1.7, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on an order expressing official intent to reimburse with tax-exempt obligation proceeds for costs associated with designing, acquiring, constructing, improving, purchasing, upgrading, updating, and equipping a new animal control shelter. Ms. Shelton.
Yes, this is our normal order that gets passed whenever we're looking at going out for bonds. And it just covers any expenses we may have until that bond gets funded. And so if there's any pre-expenses that we have, we can go back and reimburse the county for those amounts, and it still will use the bond funds eventually.
And to clarify so that the public understands, the bond issue passed on the animal shelter,
Yes,
and those bonds will go to market probably sometime after the first of the year. But there may be expenses that are going to be incurred prior to those bonds actually funding. And so this is to reimburse what the county advances against the bonds.
yes, sir.
Very good.
Does this cover reimbursing or include reimbursing for the purchase of the property?
It's all based on the amount of time before that was spent. Like, there's an 18-month limitation that you can't go back so far. So I'd have to double check with the exact dates on it. In this order, it does say no tax exempt obligation will be issued by the county in furtherance of this order after a date which is later than 18 months after the latter of the date the expenditures are paid or the date on which the property with respect to which such expenditures were made is placed in service.
I'm pretty sure that was.
We're past 18 months.
Yeah.
Past 18 months, so, okay.
Well, and just to complicate that, on the question of reimbursing for the property purchase, we bought a 16-acre tract, is where we planned to put the animal shelter, and intended that for many uses. They're only going to use, I think, probably 3 or 4, 5 maybe. So we'd have to allocate even if we could.
And we're getting a really good interest rate. So, interest rates may come into play some on what that decision would have been anyway.
Okay.
Well, I'm still pretty proud of the interest rate we got on that
I am
tax
too.
anticipation,
We all
0.75%. So, so we've got a motion and a second. Do we have a motion and a second yet, Jackie?
I'll make a motion to approve,
Reimburse the tax exempt obligation proceeds.
yeah.
As
Approve the
presented.
agenda item as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Item 1.8, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to surplus items from various departments. Ms. Shelton.
Yes, we've had 3 requests for surplusing items, and we ask that you accept that.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve surplusing the items as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Item 1.9, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the Kerr County Attorney's bond.
My
Yes, ma'am?
bond is kind of wonky compared to everyone else's. I'm on the presidential election cycle, but because I came in to fulfill an unexpired term, it comes sort of out of order, so I need to ask y'all to approve my bond, please.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? I had a question from some of the elected officials about why we aren't approving their bonds today. We do all that on Sunday the 1st at 1 o'clock here at the courthouse. If you haven't come to a swearing-in ceremony, it's exciting. Okay, so approving the motion to approve the county attorney's bond at this time. We've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Opposed? Unanimous. And item 1.10, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the job description for the deputy treasurer. Ms. Sanchez.
Good morning.
Ms. Hernandez, really.
I come before you for a job description approval for the deputy treasurer. This position was approved during the budget season, this last budget season for the treasurer's office for a full-time position. It was a part-time position. There was some changes going on. We just request your blessing for the position, the job description.
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the job description for the deputy treasurer. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Approval agenda. Ms. Shelton, 2.1, budget amendments.
Yes, You have before you two budget amendments. These are just line item changes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. 2.2, pay bills.
Yes, today's invoices for your consideration amount to $865,556.78.
I move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve the bills as presented, pay the bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Item 2.3, late bills.
There are not any.
2.4, auditor reports.
There are not any.
Thank you. Item 2.5, accept monthly reports.
Yes, for October 2022, Treasurer's Report, Tracy Saldown. For November 2022, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, Bill Ragsdale. Animal Control Services, Director Reagan Gibbons. Additional comments included is the tax assessor's collector's certificate of completion of continuing education for a term December 21st, 2021 through November 30th, 2022. I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the monthly reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Unanimous. 2.6, court orders.
We have our court orders from our December 12th meeting, regular meeting, numbers 39703, 39730. They all look to be in order. I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the court orders as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, 4-0. Information agenda. 3.1, status reports from department heads. Good. 3.2, status reports from elected officials.
I just have a brief.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank you, Commissioner Gibson, for your thoughtfulness and reasonableness and all the county business that you've conducted while you've been here, and your kindness toward county staff. It has not gone unnoticed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a privilege.
Any status reports from other elected officials? 3.3, status reports from liaison commissioners.
From related to the airport, a couple of things. One, text out in their usual way of deciding projects without letting a lot of people know much in advance, but it's a good news. They are going to do a runway rehabilitation, $1.378 million on our main runway. That will start shortly, and that'll be on our agenda, our first meeting in January, to approve it because of the amount. We have to, it takes both city and county approval. Another thing is Kerrville Aviation is working on building a new hangar. They've been talking about it. They're hoping to do it. They're looking at funding and things of that nature, but that's good news because there is a need for that. And the T hangars and row hangars are kind of under construction. At least the site work started on them. So those are projects that are in our current budget. Just a few goings on out there.
Very good. Well, I'm going to stand up. This is Beck Gibson's last meeting as county commissioner for precinct 2. And a lot of times we prepare resolutions and we tell people, whereas you did this and you did that and you did this and you did that, and we list off 10 or 15 things and we say, therefore be it resolved. Well, we didn't do that. What we're going to do is we have a plaque that we want to give Beck to take with him. And we'll do the photo op here in just a minute, so I'll let you know when. But I want to talk about Beck for a minute. This is not about, I don't want to talk about what Beck's done. I've known Beck now, I'm looking back on it, I came to Kerrville in 1989, trying to save Charles Schreiner Bank, and I met this man. And I have found him to be one of the most reasonable people I've ever known, and considerate and thoughtful people. I want to talk about who Beck Gibson is, not what he's done. We could go on and on about what he's done, but I know this man and I know him personally. I lived through the crisis of trying to save the bank and not being able to save the bank. I lived through the crisis of watching many local borrowers go through extremely financial hard times. And we got through all that. I've worked with Beck when he was president of the UGRA. And we had some trying times with the dam over there, and did some litigation on that. And I got to know him even at a different level. And when my late wife passed away, and I needed to sell the old historic house up here, I was in a pretty bad place. As, you know, it's hard to lose a spouse like that. And she was 54 at the time, if you remember. I didn't know what to do with the house. And so I hired Beck to give me an appraisal on the house. Just tell me what it's worth. I didn't have time to go through the realtors and deal with the emotions of all of it. And I told him, give me what is the fair market value of that house. And that's what I'm going to sell it for, not a penny more, not a penny less. And you can go talk to Jay and Rhea Henderson, and they'll tell you that's exactly what I did. And I put my financial future in his hands, because he's that trustworthy. And when County Commissioner Moser decided to retire, and we needed to put somebody in the spot as a placeholder, because there was a very pitched political climate at the time. I can't remember how many candidates we had running back then, but I think we started with 8 and ended up with 5, something like that. And the idea was, let the people decide who they want their commissioner to be, and pick somebody that you know you can go to sleep at night and know you're safe and you can trust. And that's Beck Gibson. Now, a little bit about what you probably don't know about him. He is an honest-to-goodness legend. You may have heard of the movie Oh Yeller. Anybody ever see the movie Oh Yeller? Well, your dad wrote it. Okay? Longtime family of Kimball County. Mason County. But, for those of you that don't remember the Vietnam era, and Beck and I both have the gray hair to show you that we remember that era, young men oftentimes didn't have a choice about what they were going to do for military service. You either got drafted, or you joined, or you took your chances. Well, they had a 4-year deferment if you went to college, and so I thought that seemed like the best way to go for me. And I think you started that process.
Didn't finish quick enough.
And actually joined the Army and was a combat helicopter pilot. And for those of you that know, I can't give you all the stats on the missions and what all he did, but it's just incredible. I mean, we're talking about a true war hero here. But he crashed one of those helicopters. A lot of people don't know this part of the story either. And what was it, 72 hours you were back in the air? What was it?
I was young.
Back in the air. What kind of guy is that? You know, put me in, coach, put me in. I didn't want to go in. He went back. And knowing Beck reminds me of my father, who is my personal hero, who was a World War II Marine, laid the landing strip out at Bougainville under fire to put the Marines on the ground. And as a boy, he always told me what kind of man he wanted me to be. And I think everybody has a parent that tells you how they want you to be. And he used to, from memory, recite the poem, If, by Rudyard Kipling. And his mother gave him a book of poems before he went to the South Pacific that he carried all over, including with the occupation of northern China after the war. And he read these poems. And my father could quote from memory, I'm going to tell you, 5 or 6 dozen poems, because that's all he had to do when they weren't fighting. But the poem the poem If, and I know this is somewhat unorthodox because we don't normally read a poem, but I want to read the poem to you because it means something to me. But when I read this poem, this is the man that I know and knew and appointed to this position. So this is poetry moment for Commissioner's Court. think about this. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good or talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you be a man, my son, my friend, Beggars.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Beck.
Thank you, Beck.
Okay, we have no other business. We stand adjourned.